Hello, my name is Dr. George Mochocki. This quick video is going to show you how to create, import, grade a rubrics within Blackboard. I'm going to use one of my classes last summer. It's Intro to Business. You could use any of your classes. What you're going to go back in. Robin James asked me to do this overview. Provided me with 10 minutes. I'll try to do 10 minutes, maybe 15 the max, I'm hoping. Okay, so you're going to go into your tools. Remember, you're going to go in Blackboard, you go into the course management structure sections, you're going to go into your course tools, you're going to scroll down to rubrics. You're going to click on rubrics. If you notice, I have two rubrics already imported. If you know of an instructor, or myself, I'll show you at the end if I have time how to import or export a rubric. Now the one thing you have to always, okay, so we're going to go into importing and exporting at the end. How do I create a rubric from the beginning? You've never created a rubric from the beginning, so you're going to go create a rubric, and here's what's going to do. You're going to do a new rubrics, or whatever you want to call it, a new testing rubric. Okay, this doesn't have a spell check here, but this area here, whatever descriptions, you can say A is word B, C is this, whatever you want to say, a real quick description, a few sentences, okay? And then now here's what you have. This one, it's already defaulted. It gives you formatting, organization, and grammar. You could change any of these at any time. Remember, you could change it to form, whatever you want to call it. You could also add a criteria or levels of achievement. And this is novice. Let's say I want to call this, edit this, and I'm going to call this C. I'll put C in there, and I'll save this. And this one here, competent, I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to call it, I don't know, give it a B, right? We're going to go B, and so on, okay? So remember, you could change this. You could also add. So if I want to add more, this is set up in the percentages. It gives you the option. This one's total weighted average. Let's say if I wanted to add a row, so I want to do something else, and here's going to say add a row. It's a new row, so I'm going to call it something else. I'm going to go understanding course material, whatever you want, okay? And you could do a save. If you notice right now, there's not a percentage. You can always change the percentage. Always got to add up to 100%. So I could do the balance, and the system does it for me. I could also, if I don't want to show this weighted average, I could click it off. It's gone. I could change it to points. Remember, I'm just showing it. You could add this. You could utilize the 7 categories across the curriculum. I have a rubrics already created for that. Now, the points, if I, I'm just going straight points. So if I add the points, the maximum points for formatting, if I say it's 5, okay, that's 5. So basically, you're going to see the 5, and then organization is another 5, okay? And then here, I can add anything I want. If I look at the sheet that I provided you to do a quick one category one, remember this one is on oral presentation. This is what we're going to be going through some of my examples for some of the students who do a PowerPoint presentation for me in class. This is how I grade them after they submit the PowerPoint and do a presentation in class. Okay, so they all has to add up, whatever the numbers here. So you see, so it's 10, but if for some reason I'm paying attention and I put a 6, now 6, and this is going to be a B, should be higher than or lower than an A. So you see the points change. It doesn't make a difference. It's always going to add up. Here, so you could add. So if I had this overview here, I could cut and paste it. See, if I want to use this, I just copy it, and I go back into, where the heck I'm into my PowerPoint, and I can do the same thing, and I can cut and paste. Don't try to type as much as you can. If you already have an electronic version of a rubrics that's not in Blackboard, it's very easy. You could cut and paste, and you're all set and going on there, okay? So it always adds up, no problem. You could also change it if you want it. You could do it by the point range, and now again, it's going to go to how many points is the maximum. So if the maximum is 12 here, all these have to be lower, and the maximum here is 13, and if you notice, it's always adding up, so it gives me 25. All right, and you could change these around. I could add, I could delete. If I look at this one here that we're going to be looking at, that I already have created and I'll be working through, I could go in here and I could just delete this whole thing, cancel. All right, let's see, delete the column, and it's gone. I could do whatever I want. If I want to delete this one, I delete this. I get rid of the formatting, save, and it's gone. Does it make sense? So delete this row, that row is gone, and you could change it and go forward. Okay, so that's how you create a rubric within Blackboard. Easy, add it into, and everything else. Now, as a management and marketing individual, mine is if the wheel has been invented, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I just want to make the wheel better. So you may have other instructors that are already using rubrics when in Blackboard. They could send you their copy as a zip file. Remember, Blackboard only accepts information if you're importing a rubric. Now let me get out of here. Save, and I'm done on that. If you're importing a rubric, it has to be in a zip file. Okay, so now I have this new testing rubrics. I got oral presentation. I'm going to go with this oral presentation. I'm not going to go through it. You already know how to create it. So now I'm going to go into my weekly assignment. That's where I'm going to show you how to do an assignment and attach your rubrics to the assignment. You know how to create it. It's real easy, simple, and I'll go a little bit into that. All right. So now I'm going to go to assignments, and I'm going to use one, and I'm going to go into my week 7. And this basically, this is a summer class, so it's 8 weeks. And I already have one submitted here, but I'm going to create a brand new one for you to show you how you could create a rubrics without going through the tools. You're going to go assignment. I'm creating an assignment, and this is not teaching you, and this is going to be a PowerPoint, and I already have something with PowerPoint. Submit here, 50 points. You put your comments in here, and then when you go in here, you basically could either put the 50 points like you normally do, or you're going to go select the rubrics or create a brand new rubric. You create a brand new rubric that basically takes you into the tools section where you're at, and you go from scratch and you create it. Or I'm going to select a rubric since I already have one, oral presentation, and here I have it. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to put it in here. Now before I go into this oral presentation, I'm going to select it, and I'm going to show you, and I'm going to submit it. So now I'm going to say yes, use the maximum points for my oral presentation, because mine is at 15. You have the option here to yes with the rubric scores, without the rubric scores, yes with the rubric scores. So when you're grading and everything else, the student, before he or she even submits the paper, they could view the rubrics, or after grading, that's the only time to see the rubrics, okay? I always go yes, I want them to know, and then here's how many times. If I'm doing a presentation or any kind of thing, I let them submit as many times as they want. I'm always looking at the most current ones. I'm not going to go into that, and here's the date, and all that is part of submitting, and you're all set. And now what happens, it's into in your gradebook. So when the student goes into the gradebook and they click into this homework assignment, when they click into this new homework assignment that I have here, remember I just created it, you're going to come in here, and what they'll basically see, they're going to view the rubric, and they'll see the rubrics in here. They can't do anything in here. They're going to know they get from 0 to 6%. This is all that the student's going to see. All right, so we're so far so good. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back into the gradebook, but I'm going to use a current one that I already created utilizing this to show you how to grade it. So I'm going to go back into, I'm going to close this up, I'm going to go into my grade center, full grade center, and this is a closed class, and I've already changed this one. So let's say here's this student I already played around with this one. It's a test. I'm going to go in here, and let's say I know they've got 5 points. That means they submitted something, but I don't know what I want to give that individual. So so I'm going to go in here. I'm going to view the grade, right? And basically I'm in here, so I'm going to go grade the attempt. This is regular, this has nothing to do with it. You have to understand how to use Gradebook in here if you have electronic. Here's his homework assignment, and the PowerPoint, he already did a presentation, and here's the Gradebook. Eventually, I wouldn't have any points in here, but I already graded this individual, so I'm going to go in here, and what you see in mine when I hit the grade, I've given this person 6 points out of the thing. I want to give him only 3 points. Remember, I'm only using a one scale, and I'm using a point, and it always provides me the percentages on it. That's the way I set it up. And then I put, this is my comment in here. You have a great sounding voice, need to work a little bit on changing the tone and pitch, whatever. I'm pretty lenient on my presentations within the classroom. Very hard on my written communication, because I want students not to be intimidated, but to improve. So to me, it's a challenge just to get them up there and present. Any class they take in me, in a face-to-face class, they're always doing a presentation within the class. Okay, so I could do all the changing, I could add the points, and it automatically, see, in the remember, they had a 47, and now I'm playing around this, and I dropped everything on here, and now all of a sudden, right, in the time, if you notice, his points dropped all the way to 0, and I can put whatever I did. I'm just going to exit this and leave it as it is, and it's all graded. So when the student comes in there, he or she already has your grades, it has the points, it makes life so much easier. All right, so that takes care of it, grading and the rubrics and everything else. Let me go back into, so you're finished. He or he has a grade, and you go to the next one, and you could keep on going. Now, I'm going to go back. I still have, it's 9 minutes. I still have a few more minutes. I'm going to go back into tools. Let's refresh a little bit, right? That's what, for my speech teachers. I'm going to go into rubrics, and I want to show you a little thing. Here's the testing rubric. Now, if I wanted to take this oral presentation, and I want to edit it, it will not allow me to edit it because it already, see, if I look at edit, I can't edit any of this because it says this rubric has already been used for grading and cannot be modified. Oh my goodness. Remember, once I could use it as many times for other classes as long as I don't change the rubric. It's a contract that here's what I told the student that I'm going to be grading you on, and I can't just change it because I don't like the student, or I want to change my mind, I find an error. It has to be done once you're done it. But what you could do so you don't have to redo it. Remember, once you create the rubric, so I cancel this. Now I know I can't do this because I already utilized this rubric. When I go in here, I create a copy. Now if I create a copy, it basically just what it does. It says copy, and I could go in here and I could just edit it, and I could say this is the new version going forward, and I could do anything else. And if you notice, here's the range. Remember, the sheet that I used here, instead of having, it's defaulted with you know, novice or excellent, whatever, A, B, and C. I've only used one, so I deleted the other ones that came to, as what do you call it, as a default, and I added different ones in here. Remember, you could cut and paste in here. So now I could say, here's what the student did. You had a 0 to whatever, and I could change whatever I want. Remember, all this is whatever you want to put in there, and then it gives me the total points, and you submit it, you could change the points, and you're done. And see, now you have the copy, this one, and this one I could edit as many times until I attach it into a gradebook, and then it locks it in. It protects the student on that. Now, the other thing, I want to import, I want to export this rubric. Well, let's look at import. You're going to say, George, I love the rubric. I don't want to recreate the wheel. Could you give me the 7 category rubrics? That's the one that Robin has used. I said, sure. I'll give it to you. So what you're going to do, you're going to import this. I'm going to send it to you as a zip file. Now I'll show you first of all how to export it. But let's see. I'm going to show you how to import. You're going to go import, and however I send it to you in an email, it's going to be a zip file. Save it as a zip file. Don't unzip it. Windows unzips it automatically. You're going to browse your computer, and I think I had in here Blackboard, Rubrics, all. And here's, let's see, I'm going to do one for, it was the last one, is PowerPoint, right? So I'm going to save it. So I'm going to attach it to you like this. And then all I have to do is attach it, and it's going to submit it. All right? I'm not going to submit it now because it's going to take a little bit of time. It takes about maybe 5 minutes, and then you're going to see it's going to load it. And then when you open up Rubrics, you're going to have my Rubrics. Leave that one always intact, and then always make a copy and do your modifications so you always go back to the original rubric. I'm going to cancel that, okay? So now, but I want to export this. If you're going to use the same class in Blackboard, or you're going to use the same components, when you ask Steve to either copy it, or you could copy Blackboard yourself, you basically, for lack of better words, ask him to import the rubrics and everything else there, and you'll have it. But if you want to import it for another class, or if you're teaching in another school, or someplace else, and you want to import the copy, export the copy, you basically just, this is my, this one shouldn't take long because it's really nothing in it. And I'm going to go new testing rubrics, very little, very so it's not going to take me that long. And I'm going to go export, and it's going to ask you to export it to a local computer, and you're going to submit it. And you're going to go click the download, and it's going to put it into my download. So if you're going to look at my download, it's already in there, and it's see, it's connecting up on here. So wait till it connects it. It should be taken. I've got Comcast here, so it should be a little bit faster if you're doing it, depending on your internet connection. Harper College internet connection may sometimes be slower or faster depending on the what do you call it, volume it has on there. So it's going to be downloading, and it's exporting, and what's going to do is going to basically export it into my home file, and it should take a few minutes. It's taking a little bit longer here. So basically you have everything you know. You make the copy, you go back into Rubrics, you always start off into what do you call it, in Rubrics to see which rubrics you have, right? See, now it already saved it, so you see here's the file, and then I basically import it. So now if I want to import the same rubrics I had in here, I'm going to import the rubrics. I didn't save it to anything else, browse my computer. Most likely it's going to be in my downloads, and it's someplace in here. I don't know, Camtasia, Rubrics. I got a lot of stuff. I'm looking at the date. What do I have to date? 8/20th. I'm running out of time, but find it wherever. I got to clean it up, and what you're going to do is you're going to import it in there, and you should be, you click on it, and it's going to be a zip file, and you import it, and you should be all set. So that's it. So everything else that you need to do, you start off as what do you call it, going to your rubrics, right? Remember, create a rubrics. Once you create it, or copy a rubrics, or import or export a rubrics in here, then you go into your weekly modules. right? Or wherever you want to do, you go to your assessments, and once you start your assignments, you name your assignment something. Oops, sorry, assignment. When you add the rubrics here, you can add the rubric, select a rubric, or create a rubric, and you could select from one of these, and it's all in there, submit it, and then it'll have the points, and you're all set. And click on this here, yes, with the rubrics, and everything else is what you're already used to. Again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and Robin, thank you for sharing these. I got 15 minutes. The program I'm using to broadcast in this is Camtasia Relay. Harper College has some workshops to how to use this, and I'm at 15 minutes and 40 seconds. Have a nice day, and thank you. Any questions, please ask me now.